Hi everybody, Master Tjaye here. I want to take a little bit of time to practice the integers. I like practicing the integers. I think the four operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of the integers, that's one of the critical, essential skills going into algebra. You want to be very comfortable with them. Algebra is a whole new set of concepts, and there are some anchor points that you want anchored. And the four operations with the integers, those are one of the anchor points. So for integers, if you're not told that it's negative, we assume that it's positive. We do not always put a positive sign in front of positive numbers. We just assume, well, I don't see a negative, so it's positive. So 8 plus 10, both of these are positive, so that's 18. I'm going to put a positive in front just for our clarity. 7 plus negative 8. Well, in this, we are adding numbers of different signs. The 7 is positive and the 8 is negative. How do we add numbers of different signs? Well, the first thing I do is I take the absolute value of each number, or basically I ignore the sign. So that's just 7 and 8. So the absolute value of 7 and the absolute value of negative 8. 7 is 7 and negative 8 is 8, the absolute value. Or again, like I said, I just ignore the sign. I subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Well, the larger number is 8, the smaller number is 7, so I'm going to subtract 7 from 8. Well, that leaves me with 1. 8 minus 7 equals 1. Well, what sign should it be? The sign is going to be the same sign as the larger number. In this case, 8 was the larger number. In this case, 8 was negative. So this is going to be a negative 1. Let's come back up. 10 plus 9. Well, 10 plus 9, both are positive. So that becomes a positive 19. We have 16 divided by a negative 4. Multiplication and division of the integers, super simple. If they are of different signs, you are going to have a negative value. If they are the same sign, you're going to have a positive value. The end. You don't need to do anything else. Different, negative, same, positive. Seriously, the end. So for multiplication and division, your life gets very easy. All you have to do is remember different sign, negative, same sign, positive. But do keep in mind that it's just for multiplication and division. So we have 16 divided by negative 4. Well, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And since they are different signs, that answer is going to be a negative 4. Let's come up to 2 minus 5. For subtraction, if it is the regular way, so let's say it is 10 minus 5. Please don't go through a lot of steps. Excuse me. Excuse me again. 10 minus 5, my voice is leaving me. 10 minus 5 is 10 minus 5. It's just 5. Let's not go through a lot. But in this case, as you see, it isn't that. If in third grade you wouldn't have been able to do it, you have to do a little bit more work. For example, in third grade, if you were given 2 minus 5, you would have said, I can't do that. If I only have 2, I can't take 5 away. When that comes up, you know there's more work. So here is the rule for subtraction. I change the sign of the number being subtracted. 5 is being subtracted from 2. Okay? That is a positive 5. I'm going to change the sign of that positive 5 and then I'm going to add. So that's going to become 2 plus negative 5. Do you see what I did there? I changed the sign of this positive 5 to a negative 5 and then I added. Understand, the more you do these, the more comfortable you become, the rules become more natural, and it will not take that long. Okay, so now we are adding numbers of different signs. Well, what's our rule there? Well, we take the absolute value of both numbers, or in other words, we ignore the signs. So we have 2 and 5. You subtract the smaller number from the larger number. Well, that's 5 minus 2. That becomes 3. And what sign should that 3 be? Well, it inherits the sign of the larger number. which is negative. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Don't worry, we'll do more of those. I know that seemed like a lot of extra steps, but it's going to really come in handy for this next one. We have 9 minus a negative 11. Well, subtraction, the rule says that I change the sign of the number being subtracted. Well, negative 11 is being subtracted from 9, so I need to change that negative 11 to positive. It says I change the sign of the number being subtracted and then I add. Well, then that becomes addition. So, in other words, subtracting a negative actually turns into addition. That is certainly a trick that you want to keep in mind. Double negatives turn into addition. So 9 plus 11, well, that's just 20. Okay. We have 7 plus 6. They're both positive, so that's a positive 13. And let me put a positive over here on the 20. So we keep that in mind. We have 8 times negative 10. Remember, multiplication, you just multiply. If the signs are different, your answer is negative. If the signs are the same, your answer is positive. That's it. So 8 times 10 is 80. These signs are different, so that's going to be a negative 80. Excuse me. We now have 4 minus a negative 6. Again, for subtraction, we change the sign of the number being subtracted and we add. So that becomes 4 plus 6. Again, I'm going to do that again so we remember. For subtraction, we change the sign of the number being subtracted. Negative 6 was being subtracted from 4. We change that sign and then we add. So that becomes 4 plus 6, which is a positive 10. Let's come down. We have negative 3 plus 11. We are adding numbers of different signs. How do we add numbers of different signs? We take the absolute value or we ignore the signs. So I'm going to ignore the signs. I have 11 and 3. Then I'm going to subtract normally or subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. So that's 11 minus 3. Well, that equals 8. What sign is that 8? Well, it inherits the sign of the larger number. And in this case, 11 is positive, so that 8 is positive. Okay, we now have negative 2 plus 5. We are adding numbers of different signs. So we take the absolute value of each number, or in other words, we ignore the sign and we subtract normally. So 5 minus 2, or in other words, we subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. That is 5 minus 2, which equals 3. What sign should that 3 be? Well, the larger number is positive. The larger number is 5. 5 is positive, so it will be a positive 3. Next, we have 2 divided by negative 2. Again, for division and multiplication, we multiply and divide normally. If the signs are the same, your answer will be positive, and if the signs are different, your answer will be negative. So we have 20 divided by negative 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. These signs are different, so that is going to be a negative 10. We're going to go ahead and finish out this next row. We have negative 8 times 4. Again, for multiplication, we multiply normally. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. If the signs are the same, your answer is positive. So negative 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Our signs are different, so that's a negative 32. Again, negative 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. The signs are different, so that is a negative 54. We have 1 times 10. 1 times 10 is 10. The signs are the same. They're both negative. A negative 1 times a negative 10. They're both negative, so your answer becomes positive. We're going to stop there. This sheet is the A sheet from math drills math-drills.com, the all operations with integer sheet. That sheet is available for free online again at math-drills.com. Hopefully this was helpful. Have a wonderful day.